What is up, A-Team? Welcome back. Awesome here. Hope everyone's having an awesome day. So yes, we're here to talk more about some crypto. And the reason why is because the cryptocurrency market is still looking really, really good. Even over the last week, this has looked phenomenal. But again, it's looking really, really good today. As you can see right now, still up to a $3.32 trillion market cap right here, which is looking really, really nice. You go down and look at Bitcoin right here. Bitcoin's still up 0.29% over the last hour, 0.83 over the last 24 hours, and still almost up to 9% right here on the 7-day marker. Ethereum looking phenomenal again. You go down, XRP looking really, really good. A lot of the top tier cryptos looking great. And this is when you know that cryptocurrency is doing really, really well. And the question that everyone has is, why is crypto doing so good? Well, as you guys know, the Trump had a deal with the European Union. That's kind of what sparked this entire run where we're at right now. Now, the big discussion is right here with that of China. And as you can see right here, the White House came out today about 46 minutes ago and says that trade deals could be announced this week. So we're talking, trade deals with South Korea, with India, with France. I don't know. I don't know who's going to be included in it. Hopefully, like they say right here, that China is very eager to engage in talks and rebalance trade relations with the U.S. There was a lot of articles put out there today saying that China and the U.S. want to hit like a reset button and basically start fresh and start over. And maybe that's the way to go. I don't know. But this is actually really, really good for the economy because, as you guys know, when we talk about tariffs, it seems to actually obliterate the markets. And when there's positivity about trade deals, the markets seem to do well. So I'm hoping at the end of this, I'm hoping on Monday or maybe sometime this next week, we actually have some trade deals with other countries and maybe even come to the table with that of China, which would be fantastic for everyone on a global scale. It'd be phenomenal. And so that's kind of what we're hoping for. And I think that anyone invested in the markets will obviously prosper from that. Another thing coming right here is Michael Saylor hints at buying more Bitcoin. As you guys know, when Michael Saylor's post this chart right here showing his buy signals, you know that we're actually going to be buying, he's going to be probably buying more Bitcoin. And if you could look at this both ways. So I want to put this out there. You could actually look at this as anytime Michael Saylor buys, Bitcoin will go down in price significantly. He seems to always buy the top. However, we know that when he does buy, eventually Bitcoin will rally back. We can go back and look at the history of Bitcoin here and know that every time he's bought, pretty much for the most part, except over here maybe on these little dots, that he bought the top of Bitcoin. However, he is up significantly on his Bitcoin investments right now. And so anytime he has an opportunity to buy more Bitcoin, he's obviously going to buy more Bitcoin, which is cool. One thing that we talked about yesterday, and one thing I want to show out today, is that you can see right here that shorts are continually getting wrecked right now. Over the 24-hour mark, you can see that more shorts have been wrecked than longs, even though the 12-hour, and you can see right here the 4-hour, that those are off. I mean, you can see the longs there's more longs being wrecked in the market right now. But overall, you can see shorts have gotten wrecked. That's kind of what we were showing yesterday. And we knew that if it got over to 104,000, that a lot of the liquidation map was telling us that there could be a potential short squeeze coming up here. And you can see right there that that's kind of what was happening yesterday. 104,465 is where it's at right now. And then you can see up here, there's some major liquidation events that could occur here if we were to breach into the 105s here. Just 105.22 would be a pretty big liquidation event. But we'll see what happens here. We'll see if we can reach it. Because if you go back and look at Bitcoin's price right now, you can see that it definitely went up to almost 105, and it literally just struggled. I mean, it obviously got rejected there. It didn't actually reject as much as anyone thought it would. This is on the day chart right here, so you can see the days in the green over here, and then now we're a little bit in the red. It fell down to about 103 today, and now has bounced back up to 104.5. And then you can see this did hit about almost 105. But we know that if it does hit 105, I mean, we're going to have some pretty big liquidation events right here, which is almost what? I mean, a cumulative, 98 million. And then we go down, and this is just on Binance alone. So you know that there's probably a lot more on other exchanges. But this is kind of a trigger right here. We'll see what happens if it gets 105. Just realize that liquidations are going to be occurring here. Shorts are going to get wrecked, and we're going to continue to see that build out. So one thing I wanted to point out here is that Bitcoin rally is in progress, and it's going to probably continue to go up because this is a trend over the years that shows how the global M2 market is basically runs exactly there with the Bitcoin market. And it says right here, BTC price action continues to closely mirror the global M2 expansion. Liquidity drives markets, and Bitcoin is listening. So anytime you actually see this, and there's a direct correlation with the global M2 chart right here, now you can go and you can actually look at where the rallies have occurred. And so based off this chart and where it's going on the peak over here, again, there's there's a lead to this. So when the markets start to rally, we'll start to see the pricing of where Bitcoin is. And I mean, on this chart, it's showing 195,000 for Bitcoin at the peak of this rally, which is probably towards the end. People are thinking it's in October, roughly give or take. It's going to be October of like when the bull run's over. Again, everyone's making their own predictions on this. There's nothing out there saying exactly when this is going to happen. Some people were calling for a super cycle. Some people were saying that, that we're going to have a rally end. The rally is going to go up and it's probably going to end in Q3, Q4. There's another map I want to show you here that tells you right here is October 12 to the 16th is going to be where we hit the top price. And so basically they're saying that this right here is based off the distribution, the bear markets, the markup, the accumulation. They go through all these phases right here, along with the 4-year cycle. They're saying October 12th through the 16th will be the top price. And then by October 4th through the 14th of 2026 in October, we'll actually see the bottom of the bear. So a whole year in a bear market based off what this person's saying here. So again, you can take what this is right here, and then you can compare it to what this person's saying right here. And again, take the indicators for what they are. No one really knows, but a lot of people are saying that Q4 is probably going to be where we actually go into a little bit of a bear market. Another thing I want to point out here is that this is literally, it says it's as simple as this. The global M2 12-week lead. So as you guys know, it's 12 weeks ahead. So the global M2 is 12 weeks ahead of Bitcoin. And so this is basically telling us that where this is going. And if Bitcoin's following the M2, then we know that this is where it's going. So that's where, when you look at this right here and you see this is actually ahead of where Bitcoin's at, and then you go and you look at this, it's telling us that Bitcoin has the potential to get up to this 160,000 mark. So anyone that wants to understand what the global M2 is right here, it refers to the total money supply of a major global economies like US, China, the Eurozone, and Japan. Expressed in US dollars, it's a broad measure of the global liquidity, including cash, checking accounts, saving deposits, and money market funds. Essentially, it's a way to track the overall amount of money available for spending and investment within the global financial system. So this is an overall global scale of where everyone's at in terms of money-wise. And so we can go back and look at the history of the global M2, and through history, Bitcoin has followed it very, very closely. And like I said, this is about 12 weeks ahead of where Bitcoin's at right now. So when you're trying to project at where Bitcoin's going to go, just realize that it follows this. So what I'm saying here is that a lot of these numbers are pretty closely accurate. I mean, they're pretty accurate here, to be honest with you. If anyone's out here saying that the markets are going to tank, just go follow the trends of what's been going on over the last 10, 20 years of, the 10, 12 years of Bitcoin, and see how closely it's actually stacked up to the global M2 here, which again is a leading indicator. This isn't a lagging indicator. This is a leading indicator. This is telling us that Bitcoin is about to reach this price. So when you go back and you start laughing at, people start laughing at, Michael Saylor over here buying, well, he's also looking at the same charts that everyone else is looking at here. He's following the global M2 scale. He knows that Bitcoin's going to probably reach this price. And he's going to make significant amount of gains off this. So just realize this when you're starting to actually, invest into the markets. You're actually at a really, really good time. And so again, take it for what it is. Another positive thing I want to point out here, and I keep pointing it out in my live streams, is that the daily right now, we're going to probably have a little bit of a retracement. How far that retracement goes, I don't know. It could probably fall down here into the 100, the 100,000 mark. Again, who knows? But you can see right here on the daily that the RSI is a little bit, over purchased right now. So this could come down just slightly. But the weekly is really where I'm looking at. The weekly RSI is just insane. Look at this thing, dude. This is showing us that we have a potential to hit all-time highs, right? All-time high being over the 109 marker right here. We are on the verge of actually witnessing Bitcoin hit an all-time high again. So anyone that's out here shorting Bitcoin, be careful. Just be careful shorting Bitcoin right now, because even with the Binance dominance coming down, you can see right here that the Bitcoin dominance is coming down right here. Even when Bitcoin dominance comes down, Bitcoin rises in price. Just go back and look at the history of Bitcoin. You can see that. You can see that even though that dominance falls, altcoins go up, money flows into altcoins, but Bitcoin also rises as well. So this is actually a really good indicator for the markets to be coming back here as this continues to fall. And I mean, when this starts to fall, when the Bitcoin dominance starts to fall down here into the 50s and into the 40s, we're going to really be in the height of the bull run, which will take you back to this right here, which just shows you the 4-year cycle and then where we're at, right? You got the accumulation, the markup, the distribution, and the bear market. And as you guys know, we are going into the second accumulation phase of what the guy calls the banana zone. And that's just another scale saying that we are going through 2 corrections before we reach the peak. So we're going to basically go up here. We're going to probably rally. We're going to hit another correction before we actually peak here in October based off this right here. And then we'll have another about year of a bear market, which will bottom out in October 4th. And then we'll go back into the accumulation, markup, distribution. So we're going to repeat this whole thing. So anyone that's new to crypto, just realize you are actually in at a really, really good time right now. This is actually probably the time to start accumulating as much crypto as you possibly can, right? I think a lot of people out here are starting to see that. Talks with China, the global scales. We got a lot of positive things coming up here. We got potential tax breaks for everyone, including businesses, that are going to bring in a tax holiday that's going to allow people to come in and swoop in and buy up a lot of the stocks here in the United States, just like Trump did in 2016. So we're going to see a massive rally out here. We're going to see, but again, realize that there will be some fallout, probably sometime in October, or a reset like it normally does on the 4-year cycle. So I just wanted to point this out here. This is really, really good news for the day. This is something I think we should really be talking about. I'm excited for what tomorrow is going to bring with this. Obviously, any negative news when it comes to China and U.S. Tariffs or discussions could obviously hurt the market significantly. So just realize that if you go out there and you're putting some longs in or you're leverage trading in the market, just realize that liquidation event could happen pretty quickly. It's one tweet away. It's literally one tweet away from a market getting completely annihilated. So as much as everything looks really good right now, just realize that there is one tweet away that can allow the markets to completely be obliterated. So I do want to put that out there, before you actually do something, like invest in the market or something like that. So, but yeah, that's where we're at right now. And I'm very excited to sort of see where everything's at. And this is a very, very good leading indicator. So just continue to follow the global M2 and the Bitcoin movement, and you'll see the price action when it comes to where crypto's at. So just continue following this, and you'll be just fine. So with all that, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please put them down in the comment section below. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. And with all that said, we're out. Peace out, everyone.